Now, warning, this may be a bit confusing to you at first because some of us have adopted false goals of spiritual growth. Maybe you've been taught it or you just came up with it yourself, but some of us have had the idea that God wants me to be good, moral, holy. That is God's goal, God's primary goal. And now, if you've thought this, first, let me say, without a doubt, if we actually pursue God's primary goal for us, we will become better people. We'll become more loving, moral, ethical, holy people, without a doubt. But that's not God's first goal. And the Bible's clear, it says in Ecclesiastes 7:20, indeed, there is no one on earth who's righteous, no one who does what is right and never sins. And think about it, if God just wanted ultimately people to do right, he could make us do right. You know, you can force obedience, but God allows for so much disobedience. Why? Well, it must be he has a bigger ultimate goal. Another false goal that maybe you've adopted is God just wants me to be a better worker. You know, that he just wants me to serve him and to serve people. And without a doubt, if you grow toward God's ultimate goal, you know, you will use your gifts and you'll seek justice and show compassion and serve and share your faith and all that. But that's not his ultimate goal. Why? Well, first of all, because both those goals, false goals, are all about us, which means all up to us and the weight's on us. But secondly, thinking of God like this makes God kind of like a taskmaster or the CEO who just wants productivity out of us. That's not the heart of God, nor the path toward God. Another false goal you may have adopted is God just wants my wholeness, my happiness. God just wants me to be, you know, whole and happy, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And while it's true, God really does just what was just said. He wants your life to be full and abundant. But the path to that is not always what we think, and it's not always circumstantial. I mean, all you have to do is read the Bible. God's faithful. You know, read Hebrews chapter 11. They suffered severely at the hands of an evil world. I mean, in some of the prophets, they probably wouldn't be featured today on Oprah as a well-balanced person. Let me just say that. And Jesus, God's son, was despised and rejected and suffered. So how could just external happiness be God's ultimate goal? No, God's ultimate goal is this. And some of you, I know, you're going to say, duh, I knew that. Okay, but stick around for 4 weeks because you're going to be surprised at the second part, the how do we get there part. So here's God's goal. Jesus said it. Matthew 22, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. All right, but there's a caveat, which is in 1 John 1. We love because he first loved us. See, it's a reciprocal relationship, but it starts with receiving God's love. Jesus gave us a picture of this whole goal, and I read it on Christmas Eve. It's this picture of our lives like a home, like a house. And he says, look, I'm standing at the door, I knock. And if you hear my voice and open the door, I will come in and we will share a meal together as friends. See, it's a picture of this intimacy. And that's the goal, this deepening movement toward intimacy and full cooperation and love with the God of the universe.